Canon Films, the comfort food of cinema. America 3000 is a 1986 post-apocalyptic sci-fi action movie from director David Engelbach. The movie opens in Colorado, in, appropriately enough, the year 3000. 900 years ago, nuclear war devastated the world and sent us back to caveman status. And the world was Wagos. That's old speak for crazy. Oh, it's going to be that kind of movie. It might as well say, and the world was waffles. That makes about as much sense. Well, this is canon after all. I'm sure they were getting ready for the sequel, America 3002 Electric Boogaloo. Anyway, in the future, the US has become a matriarchal society. The women have made men their slaves, so they could hoard all the Aquanet and eyeliner. 80s post-apocalyptic movies always have the best rockin' soundtracks. Being that this is 1,000 years into the future, the English language is a mess.
She was giving us hot scan, deciding what she was going to do with us. I didn't need heavy smarts to figure things were going cold naked.
Men are called plugats and women are called fraus. Thankfully, twerk no longer exists. Although the Jewfro seems alive and well.
And that's me, Gruss, a prisoner in the Comb of the Friscos.
He and his friend Corvus have been taken prisoner by the Frauls. The female leader, called the Tiara, is deciding what to do with them. The machos are the workers, and the cedars are the... yeah, you figure it out.
Cedar?
Gruss and Corvus escape. They head through the radiation zone since they know the Frauls won't follow them. While scrounging through the wasteland, they find this old suitcase.
What we found would change our world forever. Not the hat. The book.
In the zone, they meet up with other men and built an encampment so all the escaped slaves could live free from the Frauls. And Man Camp was born. Years pass and Corvus has been learning from the book.
Horse.
A group of Fraul are transporting goods back to their camp. Wind tunnel hairstyle seems to be very popular. The Frauls are attacked by the extras from A Quest for Fire. During the fight, the Tiara is mortally wounded. Back at the Frauls base...
Lakella, the Tiara's second, or next in line, was sharpening up her axe.
I guess axe now means dagger? A young Fraul warrior is taking her battle test by fighting Arg the Awful, played by Robin Williams. The warrior is no match for him, and he wins the fight. Looks like they still have Catholic priests in the future.
Oh my.
The group makes it back to the camp with the Tiara. Even though Lakella was the second in command, the Tiara passes the leadership honor to her other daughter, Vina. Gruss and Corvus are scavenging what the Frauls left behind. They find a slave named Amy hiding in the rubble. Okay, now they're just getting silly with the vocabulary.
Amy was an escaped toy. Frauls kept them as pets, called them toys. To make plastic sure they'd stay quiet, they cut off their tongues.
Morha, a Tiara from a local tribe, shows up to join the party for Vina. Oh god, Grandma's at it again.
All were born sick and unclean. A living curse from the Americans and commies.
The script sounds like it was assembled with Mad Libs.
Vina of Frisco. Solemn swear to enforce the regs, oversee the birthin', and rule the comb till the president comes to lead us into new tomorrow.
Vina has to burn the Tiara in order to proceed. I don't think it's a good idea to get an open flame that close to all that hair product. The Frauls are waiting for the president to lead them into new tomorrow. At this point, I'd settle for New Vegas. Later that night at the Fraul kegger, the Plugans are planning to raid the Fraul camp to free the machos. Vina finds a map of the contaminated zone that her mother left behind. Her friend Linka shows up to give her some bad news.
And I got you on my side. Not much longer. My season's here.
Her period? The next day, when all the Frauls are hungover, the Plugans raid the camp.
Trouble with machos.
That sure is a lot of macho men.
Macho, macho, macho man, yeah. I've got to be a macho. I've got to be a...
The rescue is going well until they freed Arg, who sets off the alarm. The group splits up and Corvus makes it so the Frauls follow him, although Arg is making it difficult. Corvus gets shot and lands into the hidden presidential bomb shelter. Is this the presidential sub-level? I hope he makes it past all the sentry bots. Once inside the vault, he finds weapons and a fancy gold lame outfit. He heads into the president's special chamber, which is pretty sweet. Corvus gets a message from NORAD for the president. Ass.
All, I repeat all, land and sea-based ICBMs and all, repeat all, cruise missiles have been launched.
Lels is out searching for the missing boys.
Where are you, little toys?
Oh, come here, young boy. He sees Corvus, who he believes to be the president. Corvus gets Lels to give him information on the Frals. Back at man camp, they're hazing the new recruits. Corvus makes his way back to the camp with the weapons from the bunker. The machos are playing catch with grenades. Maybe the Frals do deserve to be running things. Linka's getting ready to be seated.
Just lie down and close your eyes.
I'm surprised she doesn't throw in a "it'll be over soon." They're into some kinky shit. Gruss kidnaps Linka so they can use her to barter with Vina.
Take off those prowl rags, Cedar. You're free now.
If you want it.
I get to live here with the Frals where they feed and take care of me, and I get to have lots and lots of sex. You guys go ahead, I'm good. That night the Plugons set off a light show to freak out the Frals. They're getting an awful lot of sound out of that one speaker. They set up a meeting with Vina and the president. Morha convinces Lakella to attack the Plugons while Vina is talking to the president. Women are always talking behind each other's backs. It's like the post-apocalyptic version of Mean Girls. Corvus meets with Vina, and as a sign of good faith, he returns Linka. He seems a little excited by this. Lels tries to escape to warn the president of the Frals' attack, but he gets stabbed in the back. Corvus brings Vina back to the vault.
To talk,
About?
man and woman.
Man? What's it, man?
A miserable little pile of secrets! So Corvus discovers all this technology and a nice clean apartment, and what's the first thing he uses it for? A way to get laid. The Frals attack the Plugot base. They weren't prepared for them to have grenades, though, and Morha dies almost immediately. Why is Arg the only one wearing a helmet? And if he's such a tough fighter, why is he hiding? A massive battle ensues, and I think someone really gets hurt here. Vina finds Lels. He tells her about the attack. The Frals arrive back at their home after getting their asses kicked. Corvus shows up and thinks the Frals tricked them. Well, you know what they say, it's the bitches that'll get yous. Corvus decides to attack the Frals while they're weak. Vina tries to convince him that they were both tricked. They make out, which confuses and arouses everyone, until they all throw down their weapons and most likely have sex. Everyone except Arg. The movie was filmed in Israel for about $2 million. Cannon Films was headed by the legendary duo of Golan and Globus at the time. In 1986, when this was released, they were on a roll with such classics as Life Force, American Ninja, and Death Wish 3. The duo know how to produce an action film, so I was overjoyed to see they made a post-apocalyptic flick, instead of a military or a ninja one for a change. This was director David Engelbach's first and only time directing. Aside from this, he wrote the Stallone arm wrestling cheese fest, Over the Top. Chuck Wagner, who played Corvus, followed this movie up 2 years later with another post-apocalyptic film called The Sisterhood. This movie was the flip side of America 3000, with the men enslaving the women. In the film, a nomadic tribe of women rise up to take down the men. He was also the title character of the forgotten but awesome TV show Automan. After many years of this being only on VHS, the film was finally released on DVD from Shout Factory as part of their sci-fi marathon set. While I would have liked this film to get the full widescreen remastered treatment, I understand the market for something like this is very small, and it's impressive it was released on DVD at all. I am happy with the cleaned up image. The VHS was muddy, and the picture on the DVD is the best I've ever seen this movie look. This movie, like most Cannon films, is just pure fun. They all have this self-aware sense of camp that makes each one enjoyable in its own way. While I would have liked a little more backstory into the war and how the women took over, I thought the way they explained things was good. While I love Italian post-apocalyptic films, this one had production values beyond many of those. The action scenes and even the matte paintings were really nice. And if you'll excuse me, I have the overwhelming urge to go play some Metro.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
President? Where's the president? Where's the president?
This is General Greer